This is the G40 smartwatch by Carlinvi, and this was sent to me for the purpose of making this video. However, all opinions are my own, and you are seeing this at the same time. The seller is seeing it too. Now, this is a very large smartwatch. It's about 51 millimeters or 2.06 inches or so, and it's got a very nice screen. This is actually an AMOLED screen, which means that the blacks are super black. Now, it may not be a super high resolution screen, but it is sharp enough so that you can barely, if at all, see any individual pixels. I really like the way that this screen looks. Now, sunlight legibility might not be incredible, but it's still usable, and indoors or in any other situation that is not direct sunlight, the screen looks perfectly fine. It is actually very bright. It even has a function to use as a flashlight feature, and it's not going to light up the whole room, of course, but it is very useful when you need to use it in a pinch. Now, it does have all the smartwatch features that you would expect from a smartwatch, and of course it has the blood pressure monitor, the oxygen sensor, and oxygen sensor or oxygen monitor. And it does have, for example, activity trackers, so you can select from all types of activities, where that's running, walking. I don't know if it tracks swimming. It is waterproof. It has a rating of IP67. Yeah, it's IP67. I don't know if I would swim with it, but I have had other smartwatches with similar IP rating, and I have been able to swim with them with absolutely no problems. So I haven't been able to test this in that regard, but it does have the rating for you to consider it. Now, again, like I mentioned, it does have a lot of sensors for you to keep tracking of your health stats, and they are, of course, not meant to replace actually dedicated medical devices, but it does give you an idea of how your body is doing at any given moment. So there's that. The watch is all made of metal, including the watch band, and it does come with a tool that allows you to adjust it. So, for example, in my case, the band was a lot larger than my wrist, and especially considering that my wrist is actually really skinny. So having the included tool was actually really great because I was able to adjust the band to my taste. Now, it is a little bit loose, but that's the way I like it. I don't really like a watch to be too tight, but I still have the ability to tighten it a little bit more. So if you're like me, have a skinny wrist, and you don't mind wearing a really big watch, then I guess this is an option for you. Now, one feature of this smartwatch that really caught me by surprise is the fact that it has a speakerphone, or actually has a speaker and a microphone, which allows you to take calls on it, and it also allows you to listen to your media playback from the watch. So if you kind of want to use it as a speakerphone or a speaker, then you can do that. Now, I personally disabled that feature because I really didn't want the sound coming from my wrist instead of my phone. I have an iPhone, so the sound quality is already pretty good without the need to use it on a smartwatch. So there's that. But you do have the option, and that's really good, especially if you want to take a call like a secret agent. Now, the battery is pretty decent. I feel like I get about 3 to 5 days, depending on how heavy my use of the watch is, especially considering the screen time on. And the fact that it is an AMOLED screen, it helps with the battery life, because whatever part of the screen is black, it means that the pixels are completely turned off and thus not draining your battery. Now, right now, I do have it with the always on screen display active, as you can see, and this, of course, does drain the battery a little bit faster. It actually gives you an alert regarding that. So it's nice to have the feature. It is off by default, and I decided to enable it with the analog because it really looks pretty nice. I really like that feature. And yeah, so 3 to 5 days average of battery life. What I tend to do is that every time I go into the shower, I just attach the magnetic charger to it and, just charge it for a little while I'm taking the shower. So that way I really don't have to worry about it draining out on me. Now, the last thing I would like to mention about this smartwatch is that the vibration motor is actually a little bit subtle. It is not very strong, but it does feel high quality. It's not like other smartwatches that I've had that kind of tend to rattle a little bit when they vibrate. This one does not. It does not rattle at all, so it is very subtle. That does at times mean that you might miss some notifications if you're relying on the vibration of the smartwatch to be aware of notifications. You might miss some of them, but I really prefer that to having a smartwatch that's going to be rattling on my wrist. So I do appreciate the vibration on this one. So this is it on the G40 smartwatch by Carlinvi. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, may God bless you all.